The firehouse was quiet that morning, too quiet. The scent of soap mixed with smoke and metal polish. Buckets clinked, rags slid across the glass. The usual rhythm of cleaning echoed through the halls, steady, ordinary, and comforting, until one man stopped. Firefighter Francis Leavy pressed his palm flat against the window, stared at it for a moment, and said softly, "This is my last day." Then he walked away. A few hours later, that hand would be all that was left of him. Welcome back to Haunted Chronicles, and I'm Candy. Today, we're standing inside an old Chicago firehouse, a place where one man's final touch refused to fade. This is a story about duty, premonition, and the mark that not even time would wash away. April 18th, 1924, Good Friday. Firefighter Francis Xavier Leavy started his shift like any other. He was known for his humor, the kind of man who could make the station laugh, even on the worst calls. But that morning, something in him had gone quiet. He moved slower than usual, almost distant. When a crewmate cracked a joke, he didn't laugh. Instead, he turned to the window he'd been cleaning and said again, low enough that only one man heard him, "This is my last day on the department." His friend rolled his eyes, called him superstitious, but Francis didn't smile back. Hours later, the alarm bell screamed. The call came from Curran Hall, a 4-story brick building on Blue Island Avenue. A routine blaze, or so they thought. Engines roared down the street, sirens splitting the cold April air. Leavy and his crew jumped from the truck, dragging hoses through the doors and up the stairs into a choking cloud of smoke. But this fire wasn't ordinary. It was hungry. Within minutes, the upper floors gave way. The building collapsed in a deafening roar of brick and timber, trapping the firefighters inside. By the time rescuers reached them, the blaze had eaten everything. 8 men were dead, among them Francis Leavy, the man who said goodbye before he even left the firehouse. Back at the station, silence hung heavier than the smoke still clinging to the coats. No one spoke. Some prayed. Some stared at the floor. Then one of them noticed the window, the one Francis had cleaned that morning. Pressed into the glass was the perfect print of a hand, every ridge, every finger, clear and unbroken. It looked fresh, but when they touched it, it was cold, like frost sealed inside the pane. They tried to wash it away. Soap, vinegar, ammonia. Nothing worked. The print wouldn't fade, wouldn't smear, wouldn't move. It stayed, a silent mark of the man who had known he wouldn't come back. They called it the telltale hand. For days, the crew tried everything, scraping with blades, scouring with acid, even replacing the entire window pane. But the hand always came back. Word spread. People came to see it, neighbors, priests, even reporters. They had pressed close to the glass and whispered prayers under their breath. And for the next 20 years, firefighters touched that window before every call, believing it brought protection. It became a ritual, part superstition, part remembrance. Then on April 18th, 1944, exactly 20 years to the day of the Curran fire, the window shattered. No one was in the room. No one touched it. It just simply broke, and the handprint was gone. Was it just smoke residue fused into glass by heat? Maybe, but the men who worked there swear it wasn't that simple. They said the window had changed, or somehow, as though the heat of the fire had melted something unseen into the pane. Ask any firefighter about haunted houses. They'll tell you stations remember. The weight of every alarm, every life saved, every one lost. Maybe Francis Leavy's hand wasn't a haunting at all. Maybe it was loyalty that refused to burn away. Here are 3 creepy facts to haunt your day. Premonitions among firefighters are surprisingly common. Many report a strange calm or dread before fatal calls. Psychologists say it's intuition. Others call it something deeper. The handprint was verified, documented by newspapers, and even Ripley's Believe It or Not described it as unwashable. The Curran fire remains one of the deadliest in Chicago's history, and the old firehouse where the handprint appeared still stands, now a memorial to the fallen crew. This story isn't just about death, it's about devotion. Firefighters run toward the very thing that the rest of us run from, and sometimes that kind of courage leaves a mark that doesn't fade. Not in glass, not in memory. When I picture Francis Leavy pressing his palm against the window, I don't see a ghost. I see a man who knew what was coming and somehow made peace with it. Maybe he wasn't warning anyone. Maybe he was promising to stay. Maybe the bravest kind of haunting isn't about fear, it's about faith. And that kind of faith doesn't end when heartbeat does. The handprint is now gone, but the story still clings to the glass of memory. Until next time, stay curious and always, always stay haunted.